Yo, Flo! So what's up? It's good to see you all. Thank you for coming. I'm glad you could make it. It's good to see you. We have um, Flat Knucklehead. We have Ellen, Jeff, Michael, PJ Cruikshank, and Dave. How you guys all doing?
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Great.
And I'm
As
glad.
you can see, I'm dancing. Yeah.
It's only Thursday. It's only
Noodle
Thursday
napper.
now, so you can't do Saturday night either.
Yeah, no, but I've got a noodle napper. I'm allowed to do that anytime I want. If you've got a noodle napper.
It's a Saturday night flurfer. Is that what we got
Yeah.
going on there?
But it's good to see you in the house. Hope you guys have been having a good day or evening or whatever it is.
It's evening. Yeah.
So tonight's just a chat evening, so we can talk about anything.
Cool.
Wow.
I do have a bit of a sinus headache tonight, so if I don't talk too much, you know why. But yeah, it's good. I think we can have a good show. So if you guys want to present something, you're more than welcome. I have something to present first, though,
Cool.
which Michael sent to us in earlier today.
Oh, yeah, of
This
course.
is actually,
Yeah.
what are you guys' thoughts on this?
Yeah. It's crazy. It's mad, but I suppose a lot of people are disappointed with him because they know him as like being so thorough with scripture and that. And then when it comes to the flat earth thing, he talks to Danny Faulkner from Answers in Genesis, and not one of them go to Genesis. Not one of them really use scripture at all. So I suppose people are disappointed. I did leave a message in his podcast. I showed you it. It was like an essay length sort of thing. And there had plenty of people talk round about it, but he hasn't looked at it. Well, he's maybe looked at it, but he hasn't replied back to me or anything. And that was on his podcast of the same show we covered with him and Danny Faulkner, but it was the podcast version. So I thought you seen the message I give him. It was a decent enough
Oh yeah,
message.
yeah.
I was nice enough, but I told him in general, look, you were praised over here. We usually like your work and stuff like that. But when it comes to you talking to Danny Faulkner, it's showing it's not a good thing because you confirm each other's bias. You know what I mean? You should come and talk to us. I says, because I'm disappointed because you're usually so good with scripture and all that. But when it comes to creation, you didn't once go to Genesis. You didn't once use scripture in Genesis. And I says, also with Danny Faulkner, he's from Answers in Genesis. And he didn't go there either. I says, so I'm disappointed. You seen the message I give him, didn't you?
Yeah, it was
no
very
reply.
nice.
No reply. No reply.
But it's
But
really weird.
Everybody else
really-
said round about it says, I do hope he takes you up on the offer. And I says, I hope so too. You know what I mean? We'll be
Yeah.
respectful, you know.
I mean, we are respectful to him. I'm still do like the guy's content. It's not that I've got anything against him. I just think he's deceived and is going to the wrong people for his information.
He is. He is.
Can you post this article in the chat?
Yeah. Let me put the link in.
But bottom line is we've got like a supposed man of God who takes the word of man of a God regarding creation.
Yeah. So it's actually quite interesting. I put the link in. If anybody wants to go and read it through. Hey Ryan, what's up? He's also in. But anyway, the whole thing is theologian Justin Peters embarrasses the entire Christian community with false heretical claims. But yeah, we're not going to read through the whole thing. If you guys want to, I did put the link in there for you guys. It's also a great site, actually, Bible Cosmology. So guys, do go and pin it and keep it close by. What background is that now, PJ? What's going on now?
It's only Ramsey.
That's it, Greg Fisher. All right, Jamesy boy. All right, Jamesy boy.
What the heck?
All right, give another wee drink. It's all right, doctor. I went to the doctor the other day, right, and he says, I said, doctor, I've got a drinking problem. That's all right, Rob. We'll take you to. No, doctor, you don't understand. I've got a drinking problem. I can't get enough. I'm seeing pink elephants and everything, doctor. That's Rob. He's a Scottish comedian, Gregor Fisher. What's up there?
Okay. I watched the funny
impression.
I watched the funny thing today, actually, where they hired a whole bunch of people for a comedy show, and they said to everybody, "Don't laugh when this comedian comes on." So no matter how hard they go is trying to make jokes, they're just sitting there looking at him like this. You like get a whole 20-minute show and not one laugh. Everyone's just sitting there looking at him like,
Well, they're
what's
not
going on
funny
here?
jokes then, like, because I do not laugh if it's funny.
They were trying. They're drinking beers and stuff
Your
just to try
actors.
hard.
Actors can do that.
But actors, yeah, you get on. Hey, David Banner's in the house.
Hey, Banner.
Warrior, Luch, what's up? Moomin Rider, and Ryan Doctor, good to see you. YouTube, what's up? Illumina Croissant, what's up? Konya West, hello. Einstein Howard, great to have you in. Michael Card, obviously you here. Good to see you. PJ Cruikshank, I saw Dan Logan earlier as well. Jamacho Wombat, great to have you. Jeff Concal, Trip Canada, glad to have you in. And I think that's everybody I see at the moment. We do have a question. FE Nation too, what's up, man? We have a question from Anne Ryan Doctrinated. What's the opinion about Jay Tolan's video?
Oh,
What
wow.
can you say?
I think I went through this the other night. I'm so disappointed.
Same here.
So disappointed. Even Level Earth Observer did something about it. RV did something about it. Everybody's been going to it. It's high definition, long range, infrared observations of the flat Earth are brilliant. I just don't understand why he's come out and done this. And even if it was for a prank, it's a silly idea because he won't be trusted. But it doesn't seem like a prank to me.
It doesn't.
Even no matter what people say,
It's
that
not a prank.
it doesn't
It's
seem like
not
a prank.
prank.
He's been replying in comments saying he believes in gravity and he believes Earth moves and blah blah blah.
Oh, so he's doing. See, nah, I only had a look in the comments the
In
first
other
day.
words,
I haven't
he's-
looked since then.
He's shilling flat Earth, in other words.
Yeah, wow.
Mhm.
I'm so disappointed.
Which I still
I've got
can't
it.
understand. I mean, look at the observations he's been giving. You know what I mean? You give those observations.
Yeah.
How can you think to yourself, let me still play the flat earther kind of thing when you can clearly see
Yeah.
flat?
Well, the only way I can even defend his nonsense really is he might be thinking Earth's flat, but space is still real or something. I don't.
Look, we can all agree there's something there. What we can't say is it's not what we've been told.
Right.
Okay? There's definitely something there. We can see things. But what's been taught to us today about what's being told, that's what I can't ascribe to because it violates natural law. It doesn't work. I mean, there's just too much things, red flags, to say it's a real. Did you guys watch that latest? I think it was from space.com where they had that meteor or asteroid or something go past the silhouette of the sun, and you can literally see you can see the pixelization on the meteor, the pixels from the shading of the diffraction is larger than the pixels of the diffraction on the moon. So you can literally see they took something else, enlarged it, and just laid it over the sun. That's supposed to be real footage. Come on.
Mm.
Well, why would they do that? No.
I don't know. Maybe
Stupidity.
that's real.
I want to ask y'all what you make of this thing. I ran across this yesterday on Facebook. This is really crazy. Watch this.
Ooh, let's make it big.
Look at that shit, dog. Sabrina, hurry, come. Holy shit, dog. It's a fucking meteor. It's a fucking meteor, dog.
I love it. The
Holy shit,
raw
where'd it go?
footage.
Oh my god.
Oh, and it's burning up.
Oh my god, that was fucking sick.
Looks like a firework to me, dude.
Dog, that's aliens. That's aliens. That's aliens coming to the
Gotta be
fucking-
aliens, right?
Oh, that's alien.
It must be aliens, bro.
Tyler,
Someone let
what
off a
the
firework.
fuck is
Someone
that?
lets off a ground mine and alien.
What the fuck is going on?
They're going sideways.
They're going sideways. They ain't even following no more.
Exactly. It
Hey,
was a
look at this
firework.
green dot on my camera, Tyler. Look at the green dot. Look at the
Has
green
anybody-
dot.
I see it.
Has anybody
Tyler,
ever
what
heard
the
of
fuck is going on?
Project
They're
Ruby?
standing there. They're hovering there. Look, they're red. They're red. They're red. They're red. They're red.
What the?
They might be
think so,
smoking a little bit too
dude.
much.
Oh yeah.
I got that
Those
shit on
ain't
video.
meteors, bro. Look,
No,
that
man.
one's flying sideways.
Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. Tyler. Tyler.
Look at that nuts. Oh,
Holy shit! What is going on right now?
What the?
Oh my
fuck?
god! Oh my god!
What a bunch
What
of
the-
retards.
Why did this
Yeah.
stop?
Wow.
Oh my god!
Hang on.
Oh, wow, it's just some flares,
God.
man.
They're
Big deal.
zigzagging.
Yeah,
across
dude,
the
what the
sky.
fuck is going on right now? That is a meteor. Sabrina, get your ass over here.
That is a
That
meteor,
is a
but it's going
fucking-
sideways.
Pink, get over here.
Oh my god. Where'd they go? Oh my god.
I see someone's trying to.
Where'd they go?
Oh my
Maybe they
god.
burned
It
up.
was like a curtain that
Oh,
I'll just cut the sound because these
Yeah.
guys just go, "Oh, what the fuck?" Man?
but I mean,
But that
look at
is kind of weird, ain't it?
I did not.
Oh,
It is, but
I lost connection. I
Really?
knocked my table. Ethernet came out.
oh, that's
Well, if you think about it, if you've heard about Project Bluebeam, it's kind of explainable with Project Bluebeam. Very easy. But that's quite something.
I don't know what to make of it. I do not know what to make of it.
Well, it's remember they're pushing the alien agenda quite a
Yeah.
lot these days. If you guys haven't
What-
realized that.
My first thought was demons, man, or fallen angels being cast to the earth. You know, I mean, that was the first thing I thought. You know, at first I was like, "Oh, okay, there's like a fireworks or something." Then when it split up and started doing that sideways crap, I'm like, "Oh man, that almost sounds like a biblical description of a demon being cast to the earth or something."
Well,
you know,
Yeah.
Well, something
But
interesting.
what makes
if you
more logical sense, though? Come on.
thinking about that now, I've been watching a bit of
We
things
really
on this eclipse that's happening now,
mm-hmm.
where a lot of people believe it's like part of the rapture.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's
Well,
right.
it's going to pass right over a city called Rapture, right over
Yeah,
a town. called
How it
Rapture.
works is the last 7 years ago, the last eclipse passed this way, you could say, okay, over 7 cities, and it passed, what was it? Anyway, it passed over cities, and now it crosses directly this way. And where those two cross 7 years later is over a city called Rapture. So now they're saying this is like what the book of Revelations is saying, is the 7-year tribulation, which is now coming to the rapture. I don't
Well,
know.
here's the thing, too. The shadow is going to be bigger than the other one was. How in the hell does that happen?
Yeah.
How does the shadow change at all? I mean, what? I forget what they say. The last one was 70 miles wide. I think they said this one's going to be like 110 miles wide.
And it's supposed to be the same size object.
Yeah, same distance, same light source, you know.
So yeah, that's a bit weird.
Well, even when you run the ratios of shadows, it's real easy to do. I use that 70-mile one and use the diameter of the moon's 2,160 miles. That's what they tell us. And I put 70 miles over top of that. Then over on the other side for my denominator, I put at the bottom, I put what the Earth's diameter is. All you have to do is multiply the 70 times the Earth's diameter, multiply or divide it by the 2160, and you come out with, well, about 206-mile wide shadow going across the moon during a lunar eclipse. Same light source, same bodies, same distance, but running that ratio means that the Earth's shadow would only be about 1/10 the size of the moon, just like a black circle going across the front of it.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It don't make no sense.
That's because it's all lies. Right?
Exactly. I mean, especially the moon's made out of cheese. Come on.
Definitely green cheese as well. Shout out.
Oh, I
Jay
thought it was
Tolan.
blue cheese. Come on now. It's blue cheese. That's why it's gray.
No, Jay Tolan showed it. You know that green patch? It was green cheese, not vegetation.
Silver.
Because I saw something about that this morning. I was like, what's this? Oh, my God.
Well, there's emergency declarations all over through the path.
Yeah, that's the thing that's weird.
They're
So there's
closing the
something
schools. They've got hazmat on standby. Like what? Airports are giving condition warnings and say there might be flight disruptions because of the eclipse and all this other. And it's
They're
like,
probably
you know
going to
what I
test
think
that new technology that
no, you know what I
text
think happened.
to skull or whatever it is, where they can make you hear voices in your head. And
No,
we're
you
probably
don't
going
think
to go crazy and kill you.
you know what happened, Ryan? They watched too much Left Behind series.
Yeah, I know. I watched that too. That's why I'm saying it sounds like a movie. It sounds like Hollywood crap, but I'm just saying. I've been laughing about it since last night when I heard about it the first time.
If you just read the Bible, no one knows the time, the day, or the hour. Okay? The
Right.
fact that they're giving
That's
a
right.
day for it tells you they don't really read the Bibles or they don't understand.
Right.
No one knows the time.
It says there'll be a falling away before end comes.
It says
Exactly.
it'll come like a thief in the night as well.
Everybody who thinks that they're getting artery before trouble starts, imagine what happens if they don't. That's going to rock the faith,
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is even a way to get the alien invasion to come. You don't know. It could be fear mongering.
Sure.
And I mean, we've been seeing them push a lot of this, like we were talking the other day with that new kind of sickness that people have now that see demons, apparently.
Great.
It might just be
Yeah,
a
I
release
saw it
for
on
giving an
TikTok too.
excuse. Might just be a release for giving the excuse now that the demons can walk freely with everybody, and now it's
And then,
aliens.
and then everyone's going to start thinking they have this disease.
I'd not heard
Remember,
that.
people are conditioned. People are conditioned with like movies like Star Wars and Star Trek and all these, Guardians of the Galaxy. You're getting used
Do you
to
think they're going to really trick
walking
people?
around with aliens and stuff. You know what I mean?
Has anybody seen that free body problem?
Not
Yeah.
yet.
You want to things that they say on that's unreal, man. I mean, I think first episode starts and they're killing this guy because he talks about gravity and stuff.
What is now? I'm not familiar with this. They're saying that there's a disease that makes people think they're seeing demons.
Yeah.
I doubt it's a disease, my
Elon-
friend.
Yeah. Listen, I think it's part of the veil ripping, is what it is.
Yeah.
More and more people are getting more and more conscious and being able to see things. And like I said the other day, when was that magic date that we stopped having supernatural experiences?
Yeah.
It's called demon face syndrome.
Demon face.
What about the ones that where people actually think they're dead?
It's a,
Condition where they
They
actually
say-
think they're dead. Yeah.
They say it's an ultra rare condition. It's called demon face syndrome and causes everyone to look like they have a satanic smile on their face. This is
What
condition
about
also
that?
established recently, published in the Lancet.
And what about that? What is it? The red laser night vision that they used, or the blue, whatever the color was, that they had to change the color because they were seeing things flying around and they were shooting at it. Remember that? We talked about that a
Yeah.
couple weeks ago.
See,
Yeah,
this
and
is
the
how,
Lancet's
it goes right in with
so
it.
trustworthy.
see, this is how
Prosopometo.
But do you see how we're fed this stuff through the media? Do you see how it builds up and it turns into this? We start theorizing about what's going to happen and all that. See what I mean?
Well, see
Yeah.
here it says it's a rare disorder that makes people
now at the
sick.
moment, but they're saying more and more people are getting
But if
it
it's
now.
rare, why are we hearing about it though? Usually rare means no one's heard of it, right? I mean, if they're talking about it on television now, it's not rare anymore.
But I'm sorry, what disease can cause someone to see these type of facial features on different people?
I have no clue. I've never heard of such a thing. To be honest
People
with you.
stare at
That's
their
my
phones
opinion.
so much.
I've seen stuff like that when I took LSD.
Mhm.
I think you.
Maybe that's what they're spraying.
It was the mushrooms,
Maybe
man.
they're going to give us a double dose on that day when we're all outside looking at the sky, bro. That's what I've been saying. I said, how do you know they're not just going to dump the next, whatever they're going to, give you an immunization for later? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, think about it. They're just going to say all of a sudden there's a pandemic of everybody getting this demon disease because you see everybody seeing these demons walk around all of the time. So, but no, it's just normal people. They just look
Yeah, in a
disfigured.
few years, we'll find out it was just a worm or something that we got in food or something that came from China or something stupid like.
Because think about it, how much people were so gullible with the last pandemic. Now imagine a new pandemic that everybody's all of a sudden can see looks like disfigured demons. So it's just a
Well, I would
pandemic.
hope that.
It's
I would
not
hope
real
that some of
demons,
us are going to
guys.
be the opposite.
No. Well, maybe people are starting to be able to see those, like I've called them NPCs, these minion inhabited people maybe people are getting able to see that there are these people, these entities walking among us in human hosts or in
They always
meat
have been.
suit hosts like that, and people are being able to see it again. Like I said with my dog Brandy, she's like the most gentle dog in the world, but she's seen certain people in conditions that convince me she's seen beyond what they really are. And she just goes crazy, like trying to get through the window of the Jeep at them. And I've never seen her like that before. It's
Wow,
amazing.
really?
Yeah.
That's trippy. I have experienced that with a dog, but usually I just assumed it was because of something they're wearing or whatever, because I know dogs are
No, they can
triggered
see
by
shit.
some of that.
Brian says his dad's one of them.
Your dog bristles up. Pay attention. I'm telling you right now.
No, I know that. No, I don't have a dog now. But I did have a dog. And when I did, she was she like was always smelling people and smelled them in the same place. And it was weird. And then somebody actually had cancer, and it was in the spot where she kept sniffing them. And I was like, I'll be damned if she isn't like sniffing out the damn cancer in people. And of course, she died
That's
right not soon after that. Yeah, it was really weird. I think she just taught herself how to do it. It was weird.
No, I'm saying I just spoke about the sea pandemic, and I just got an email about it.
Yeah, can I just explain?
Oh, really?
To,
Well,
can I just
that's the
explain?
AI, I guess.
Ryan, 2 seconds. I didn't say you were lying this time. I says, because you said you're not lying. I says, how are people expected to believe you when you keep lying to them? I've never said you're lying this time. I'm saying, because you said you're telling the truth, how are people meant to believe you when you've continually lied in the past to them? That's my point. I didn't say you were lying right now. That's what I meant.
And if you use ChatGPT, you could be lying continuously, though, there, Luch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He'll definitely lie to you.
Well, that's what I was trying to explain. Them. He's paying a monthly subscription to be deceived. I'm like, silly.
This should teach you, Luca, that you have been deceived, and it wasn't by us; it was by someone else. Now, so maybe that should make you think that maybe some of the things that you thought were real might just be a deception. Maybe you should research that again and look at it really carefully now that you've seen that there is some deception out there. That's what we've been trying to tell you the whole time, is that there's deception all over, and we're wondering why that's so and how they manage to keep their story straight, even though they don't keep their science straight. You know what I'm saying?
You admitted you lied to us yesterday, Luch. I didn't say
Just
you were lying right now. I just did. Yeah, and I was just trying to explain to him what I meant. You know what I mean? That's all.
He's just again trying to steal the show, because if you realize that he loves playing victim, and then he takes everybody off topic to talk to about.
I'd have to ask him, like, is somebody sending him here to do this?
Of course they are.
That's what I'm saying.
I was.
Yeah. Yes.
At the end of the day, he's making it that I'm going to say he's not going to be much longer welcome here, because I mean, like I said yesterday, I gave him the benefit of the doubt, but he doesn't want to.
Now he's having to respond. He's responding.
But he doesn't really want to own up, and he wants to carry on doing what he's doing. So, see what I'm saying? Now our whole topic is gone again.
It's a pity party with him. Yeah, it is.
Just ignore his ass. If he's not talking about the topic, shit on him.
Yeah. Oh, I got a video from Ron Wyatt's discoveries. It's 2.5 hours long.
I will, but there's a lot.
But it's brilliant.
Oh.
But it's brilliant.
Is that regarding that arc?
Dead Sea. It starts off. They're showing different people that when he discovered Sodom and Gomorrah.
If you go on his YouTube channel, though, they should all be split into separate videos as well.
No, but this is from someone else that made a documentary.
Go to his own. I think it's.
No, I know what you're saying, but I'm saying this documentary that I got from this is brilliant. It's 2.5 hours long, but it's actually very good. Where he takes all the discoveries from Ron Wyatt, and he takes other people that go and validate these discoveries. And what I found very interesting is with Sodom and Gomorrah, why is no one pushing that it's been found? Why is there no archaeologists anywhere? Why is there no tourist groups? Nothing.
High content.
After 30 years. After 30 years of the discovery, you don't get any archaeologists there. You don't get any tour groups there. You don't get any news said about it. They're literally suppressing it. Why is that?
Yeah, they've actually got some of these areas guarded off
Yeah.
where you can't even go.
Thanks, David Banner. He says I'm in Shield, which I am. I am kind of in Shield.
Still,
I am in Shield. Thanks, David. I never even thought of that.
his accent makes him say it that way.
Well, can't you see PJ's head's just above water?
Just yeah, my head's just poking out of
Yeah,
Shield.
keep your head up, brother, before you drown there.
An angel's got to come down and save me from Sheol. Oh no, I've disappeared. I've gone. I'm in hell.
If you hold your head real still and you phase in, you can get your nose and the tip of your face to come in, and not the rest of you. It'll look trippy.
Oh,
You know, if you get any of y'all really looked really closely at this map that I have behind me, the Urbano Monte. Did you notice?
Bring it actually nice and big up so everybody can see if you got a screen share.
Oh, I know what it is. I know.
This is quite an interesting map.
It's the picture. It's the moon, isn't it? Supposedly, the moon.
No,
no,
it's not.
No, this is
I thought it was
a navigation map.
Oh,
I got one.
I think I've seen it.
That.
I'm not sure exactly, but if it's got four spaces in the middle, like a mountain and with four like pillars or whatever, then yeah, I've probably seen it. Or four sections, and then a water around it. Yeah, I've probably seen it.
All right, hang on a second. Let me find it here. I gotta stop this.
But I honestly believe that there's a hole in the center of the earth. To be honest with you. Like at the center point, wherever that is. But I don't know. I could be wrong.
Here we go.
Doesn't really matter, does it, Ryan? You can't get there to have a look and find out.
Yeah, that's true. I wish I could. That would be interesting, but it would be a big waste of time and resources, though.
So this is the 1587 Urbano Monte map, and of course, there at the center is the north, right?
Is it a hole or is it a mountain?
Give it a minute to come in, but do you see where what's marked right at the North Pole? It's not a 0, it's a G. Why?
Like the geometry G.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So there's another really cool thing. Look at this right here. I found this the other day.
Control room, dude.
Okay, so here's Norway, Ireland, Friesland, which no longer exists anymore. But look what they've got right up here off the coast of Norway. A virago.
Wow.
That looks like a what is that?
A vortex.
Whirlpool.
Yeah.
A whirlpool, a virago.
It's a portal, dude.
They're putting it on a map. I mean, if this was a temporary thing, why are you putting it
What's
on a
England
map?
look like, Dave?
Well, if it's a ship map, you don't want to accidentally put your ship in there, so that would make sense.
Let's see. This is England.
No, that's Iceland.
Is it? Oh yeah, Icelandia. Hold on a second. Let me get it. Oh, down here. My bad. There we go. And there's Ireland, England.
Wow.
Are there any places that we don't have in the Pacific Ocean?
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't.
Look at here in the South Pacific here, but look at what Antarctica looks like.
Wow.
Where's Australia?
Well, they do say Antarctica was once a luscious green vegetation.
They're depicting it with plants and animals and giants.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Giants.
The Nephilim.
That looks like a dinosaur to me.
If you go,
I think they froze it.
And what year was this map dated to? The
1587.
Oh.
Now look at here.
It's
This is down in Argentina. This is Argentina down here, and look how close it is to Antarctica. It's like a small waterway passage between there and Antarctica, and Region de Gigante, the land of the giants.
The land of the giants.
Yeah, region of the giants.
Yeah. Yep. And when you get down into this area here, of course, this is Antarctica, and these different land. Look at there's detailed coast on the other side.
There's pictures of animals there.
Passageways through. and depictions of these various monarchs that actually control these regions.
Oh,
Let me put the link to this.
pretty awesome. I have seen this map, I think at least once, but I never really took a good look at it though. Never took pictures of it and like broke it down and studied it. Pretty awesome.
It's for anybody
Very
who wants to
interesting.
go ahead and take a look at that. I put the link in the chat.
Awesome.
Yeah, this is really cool because it's interactive. You can zoom in, really get close detail. Now, the original of this is 10 feet by 10 feet square. The original.
That makes
And
sense.
I've got a replica that I ordered from here that's a 30-inch by 30-inch. However, finding a frame for it has been proven difficult. So I'm going to have to have probably a frame made for it. But here where we see this area that should be Australia.
Hey, Doctor and Ryan said something that is interesting.
Maybe here.
If our realm was protected from the center, all matter would expand as you move south. So there would be giants out there.
That's why they don't want us to go out there, because we'd grow.
Look at all these. Are these the little islands and shit that Japan just discovered? I mean, look at all of this.
Wow.
So, you know, they had a pretty good grasp on where everything was, even in 1587. And this is interesting, too, here in North America. You've got all this
I bet that they always had
mapped out, the mountains, everything. Where are the Great Lakes? There are no Great Lakes. You don't see the distinct state of Michigan carved out by the Great Lakes. It's not there. So there's been something happened geographically between this time and now, especially if this is not even depicted down here in the Antarctica. It has flora and fauna. So that doesn't really jive with what we know about it. And it looks rather close. These people obviously were able to get there closely.
Hey, Dave, you have to remember the people back in the olden time, like ancient times or whatever, like hundreds of years ago, they were dumb. They're stupid.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, right. That's why they have better maps than we have today, right?
You know,
but you actually see here in the Arctic Circle,
and before they supposedly flew too.
Just like with Mercator, you have your 4 rivers and your 4 land masses around this center right here.
But what is it?
Even just like what is depicted by Mercator. But there's nothing there now. Yeah, right.
I just wish I was
This, even if you can use Google Translate with this, and these are like different fleets and different explorers and who navigated where. You've got your different.
That looks like Templars or something.
Yeah, a lot of them. And then when you find out these, this is the Armada of Spain, de España. So it's a Spanish Armada here.
Is that like a big, humongous lobster? Oh, I'd be so good with
It's the tropic. That's
well, don't get excited, boys. It might just be showing you where to get the lobster, not necessarily where to get the giant.
No, this is actually depicting the cancer.
I know.
I was teasing. That was too.
Let's see, what do they put on the Tropic of Capricorn? There he is.
Oh, yeah.
And it shows the sun at the Tropic of Capricorn. We come up here, and it shows the sun at the Tropic of Cancer. There's really a lot on this, man. There really is. You can
it shows the extremes of it, both upper and lower. Wow, that's interesting.
Literally hours on this. Look at this. What is this huge bird attacking carrying an elephant?
Like a phoenix, doesn't it?
Pterodactyl, dude, don't you know? Yeah, it's a pterodactyl phoenix or whatever.
Phoenix carrying an elephant.
Huge grasshoppers. I mean, yeah. I mean, this is and of course this area here that is the region of the giants, land of the giants. This is today known as Patagonia, which means literally big feet, land of the big feet people.
Of
So
course, it could have just been made up by the map maker. Just as a
Well,
too.
well, I don't know if you saw in South Africa. There's a discovery with a big footprint.
where's the Sahara?
You can find it. Who discovered it?
It's really small because it's
probably
got
wasn't.
over years. It expands by a foot or like I think it was like 3 inches every year or something like that.
Oh, Patagonia. There we go. Yeah, it's a giant footprint. No, but that's in a different. This one. Let's see if I can get it. Mpumalanga. What?
Sea stories.
So yeah, if anybody wants to take a look at that, they can.
That's quite cool.
Yeah, I'll book my.
Tillinga. There we go. Yeah.
I'll book
Yeah,
my.
David Banner says it's Tillinga. Exactly. It's a giant footprint in South Africa. That's as big as a person.
Oh, yeah, Tellinger found that. It's like it's upright in a stone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it looks like you stood on it, and when it's then your feet squash in mud or something, and you walk out like that.
Yeah, that's amazing. I like some of the work he does, but there again, they get these ones that are associated with that Gaia TV. Get out of here with that.
Yeah, I know.
That
Later,
Gaia
guys.
organization, boy, that's full of shills.
bless.
Jeff,
Gatekeepers.
just Jeff, thanks for coming, man. Enjoy the rest of your day.
So,
Always good to have Jeff in, even if it's just for a little bit. So, guys, there's one spot all still open because I saw there were people trying to get in earlier, but the panel was full. So there is still one spot open if someone wants to come in. Warning to all the globe trolls: if you come in your troll, you will get booted. I don't care about your feelings.
somebody talking about that with the giants and stuff. It says, and I forget which scripture. It says that it's in one of the apocryphic texts. Describes Adam as 60 cubits. Now a cubit is
That's a big boy.
18 inches, so he was 99 feet tall.
Wow.
And I always think about that, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh yeah.
Have we been shrinking? Have we been getting smaller?
That's
over the
what
years?
God did to us. He not only changed our languages, he shrunk us so we'd be farther apart from each other.
It's part of entropy, guys. And think about it. Doesn't that go against evolution, though?
It does.
Evolution is the biggest crock anyway. So.
It's supposed to be evolving for the better. Why then we are devolving, quote unquote.
Exactly.
That's why I like that South Park Mr. Garrison show.
Oh, yeah,
about
that was good.
evolution.
That was great.
Congratulations. You're the product of a retarded fish having butt sex with a monkey squirrel.
I still don't know how people can believe
that's
it.
one heck of a phrase there.
But yeah, that's truth in plain sight.
God.
Yeah, that killed the conversation quickly.
Stop the typing. Stop it.
Yeah, so by the way,
Kidding.
thanks everybody for coming. Please hit the likes if you haven't done already. Just hit the like, share the show, let everybody know we are here. And it's great to have you guys here. Yeah, what do you guys think about the giant trees?
Had to be there.
Yeah, I think some of them, them mountains and like that, them places in America, like Montana and that is it. I don't know exactly, but them big old red things are like petrified trees. Definitely, I think.
I agree.
There's an old dead tree near me, and there's a bit of branch that comes off it, and if you look at it, it just looks like that Devil's Tower, with like them leaks downside it. Like it looks exactly like it. When it gets warmer, I'll take a photo on it.
I've been up in Northern California, and up in that
Me
area
too, I
where
live
the
here.
giant redwoods are at.
Mm.
And you can look at pictures of them. That's one thing.
Mm.
But when you go,
Yeah, you
and
have to see them, bro.
standing amongst them, and you're just like, holy cow! I mean, I drove my Jeep through a tunnel that was carved through one.
Yeah.
That's
They are
crazy.
bigger around than a house, dude. Like a full,
Yeah.
like a big
Does that
2,000
like
square foot house, man.
there's that famous black and white photo where there's a big chop in that tree and they're all stood in it.
Yeah, driving lorries and that through it and stuff.
Well, we had a big cannabis farm up in northern California, and there was this place that it was a great place to eat. It was a restaurant that was served family style, but it was the old like cafeteria for the lumberjacks where they were, it was on site. And it was really cool. They'd be big long tables and benches, and you just go in there with your friends and sit down. Other people come in and sit down, and you order, and they put the food right there in the middle of the table. You dish it out yourself. It's just like being at home for dinner. But they got this museum part of it that you go into, and like they got this chainsaw that it takes two guys to even operate. This thing is like from back in the day, really old, like one of the first chainsaws. And these blades that are as big as 2 stories, a big, huge circular saw blade for the mill. And you see these photographs of these guys standing next to a felled tree. And like he was saying, that tree's width is bigger than a 2-story, 3-story house. These guys are just little tiny people sitting down along the bottom of them. And of course, most of those huge ones are gone now.
Wow.
Well, we were talking about giants, right? Well, I think giants were the ones chopping them down. I don't think people could do it, to be honest with you. I think they made those chainsaws as a joke, but that's just my opinion.
Well, the legend of Paul Bunyan.
I was just
right?
going to say that, Paul Bunyan.
Hey, it's just.
I know it sounds nuts, but I mean, come on. What else makes sense, bro? Like, have you seen some of those trees that are like petrified and there's like a big chop taken out of them, and you're looking at the people standing there with their axes and you're going, no way. There's no way they chopped that big ass hack in there with a chainsaw. There's no way. It's like insane.
I've seen pieces of fence that are only like 100, maybe 150 years old that have started to turn to stone. This is no
really
kidding.
that's crazy.
Fence pieces and shit. I've got a piece of a branch that's all stone now, but if you turn it onto its side and look at it, you can see the little rings in it. And if you put some water on it, you can actually see, you know how when you pull some bark off of a stick and you see where there's some kind of a little critter has made a little path through there. There's some of those in it.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
that's
one you've got
perfect.
up flat. That one you've got up flats is a really good one. You can
I
see
guess
the
wood
grain.
doesn't it run away?
Well, you can see the grain and everything in it. It's like you can see it's just like exactly what it was when it would have been just say a dry wood, a tree, where when it's starting to crumble, you see all the grain like that. That's like a knot in a tree, and that's rock. You know what I mean? So that, of course, they're petrified, aren't they?
Look at that.
I've heard that it actually can happen over just a short period of time too. It doesn't have to be a long period of time if there's water flowing over it.
Yeah, I've seen a cowboy
That's some
hat.
crazy stuff.
I've seen a cowboy hat completely turned to stone, and that was from late 1700s or something. Completely turned to stone. Cowboy hat.
I think
I saw a cowboy's foot too with his leg still in there that was petrified once. I saw a picture of it on TV. I was like, what?
I think it's definitely a big rock.
Yeah, definitely a rock.
Look at that. Look at that.
I think that's a tree.
Yeah, either that or something caused it to turn to stone. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one or the other. I don't know.
I've got a question for the Globies concerning this though. Is the top of that flat? Or does it follow Earth curve?
It must be curved. It must have to be.
So I got a couple of pieces of this petrified wood, if you want to see them.
Okay, cool.
This is
Somebody said fossilization can happen in as little as 2 weeks. Wow.
Let me. No, I didn't say in a few weeks. Hang on a second. Let me.
No, somebody in the chat did. I was just repeating what they said.
All right. So just so it doesn't blur,
No.
you can definitely see. And if you look, let me see if you can see it better. I don't know if you can see this, but if you even look at the end of it, you can see the rings, the growth rings.
Wow.
Yeah.
In it. And at first I thought it was just a piece of wood, and then it actually had some, calcite built up on the side of it right here.
Wow, man.
Now, I found this in Death Valley. And then
That's cool.
this is another one I found in Death Valley. You can look, it looks like a little chunk of wood. Look
It's
at it.
moon rock. Triple X is
And
correct. It's moon rock.
there's where it started to mineralize.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Right.
petrified. Anything.
Oh yeah, mineralizes exactly.
You can, it's an old piece of wood. At one time it was, and it's as easily seen even when you start zooming in and looking at these wood fibers.
Ever watched that mud fossil guy, Dave?
Yes. And this is just one from Madagascar I'm a bit of a rock collector, so I've got that, and it's been polished.
Well, if you're a rock collector, I have a question for you. When I was up in Northern California a while back, I saw these rocks all over the place, like all over this person's property. He had like a few acres, and there were like these rocks that had little pits in them. Like it looks like somebody drilled a hole into it and used it for something. And I've been told that it was some kind of a mollusk or something that did it, but I'm not convinced of that. I'm wondering, like, what in the heck what made that? And it's really strange. I could show you pictures if I could go find them, but it was really interesting. They were like flat, and they were like, it looked like they had been in water, obviously, but it was weird. They had huge pits in them, and they were like everywhere on it. It was like weird, like somebody was drilling pieces out, like make jewelry with it or something. It was weird.
I don't know. I'd have to really look at it to see what it is myself.
And also, speaking of stones, did you know that in California there's this huge like system of walls that are about 3 feet high, and they're made out of stones that we don't even know where they're from, but they're all over California, and they just go all over the place?
I didn't hear about those. No.
Yeah, I live right nearby it. Matter of fact, when I went on vacation, a week back, I actually saw a stretch of it on the side of the road when we were driving. I was like, holy crap, there's a piece of that fence that they were talking about. And I didn't even realize it, but I had just seen the video like 2 days before. It was weird.
And that makes me think of when we were talking earlier about Sodom and Gomorrah. Do you know the sulfur balls there? That's the only place in Earth where you find that it's over 90% pure sulfur.
And it's still flammable, supposedly, right?
There's no place on Earth that even gets close to that.
Yeah. A guy digs one out, doesn't he, and sets it on fire.
Yeah, but it's the only place on Earth that has that purity of sulfur.
It's weird, like, isn't it?
Hey, earlier,
definitely.
You were talking about Ron Wyatt, Flatzoid.
Yeah.
And of course, he has like a tremendous story. He's got all these examples of this just crazy things happening to him in his life. There's one in particular that gives me pause, like reason to doubt, like his stories. And that's the famous story he has with the Ark of the Covenant. And he claims that he goes into the Hill of the Skull there, supposedly below where Christ was crucified, and he finds Christ's blood on the Ark of the Covenant. And then this blood is reanimated. The whole story, you're probably familiar with it.
Yeah, we spoke about it last night a bit. And it's only got half the chromosomes.
Yeah.
Right, yes. So, but he claimed, so at that time when Christ was crucified, supposedly it was a mystery as to where the Ark of the Covenant was, right? Because the temple had been destroyed, the Ark had been hidden, and then there was no clear record of where it would be. But I personally, for myself, like if they had a temple built during that time, and if it was Passover, the high priest would have to go into the Holy of Holies and apply the blood to the Ark of the Covenant. And I don't see why, I should believe the Ark is any other place besides in the temple.
Yeah. But
the temple's in your head, dude.
Another thing that bothers me is, do you think God really needs us to find some blood to show us that he's real? Do you know what I mean?
The temple is inside of your head.
But that's why I said he's made some discoveries. Like I do believe he's discovered Sodom and Gomorrah. He's discovered the Red Sea crossing. But when it comes to things like, that's why I say even Noah's Ark, there's things about that story is
the other thing is, did he find them, or were they already known about it?
That's what you don't know.
Let me show you a couple more things I found out there in the desert. See this?
Oh wow!
What the hell is it, right? And I find these things all over.
It's a dung ball.
Yeah, right.
That's a It's
I
camel
found this-
testicles.
It's a petrified piece of poop.
Camel
Well,
testicles.
what would happen is I'd go to these areas like after
The rabbit
monsoon
drop.
that they call a wash, and that's the only time there's water runs through these things, right? And it'll eat away at the side of the wash, and I find these things poking out all over the place, man. And this one right here, it was
Yeah,
really
I've seen
kind of
them
cool.
before. They're pretty
Half
sick.
broke
I've seen
open.
them.
And then as I was carrying it back, I dropped it and a piece came off of it like that. And there's like another
different
round
layers.
Yeah, I found
completely inside of it.
there's like a stream runs through wood near me, and it
You know what that means,
got that
right?
many. And you'll find that they go even smaller, like like
Just-
the Russian doll
just-
type thing.
Like
Just blame
yeah,
it on gravity, okay?
it is. It's gravity.
No, that's caused from high heat, man. I'm
If you
telling
hold
you,
it
that
close
was
enough,
molten.
they're probably gonna. If you hold it close enough, they're probably gonna attract one another. So
Well, the crazy thing about that whole area is you'll be walking along and all of a sudden here's this piece of volcanic rock that has obviously hit and just stayed right there. And it would be huge. And this is like 20, 25 miles from this last active volcano that was up the road we used to go to. That was
Brimstone,
really
probably.
cool. I drove my Jeep up inside of it into the cone, and it's all red. It's this mineral called rhyolite. And people use it for their landscaping. There's those little red, orangish red rocks that have all the holes in them. That's
Wow.
rhyolite. And this whole place is covered with that, man. It looked like I
Lava
was
rock,
on
yeah.
Mars. I got pictures and
So-
I posted them, and I said, "Look, I beat Elon Musk to Mars. Fuck his Tesla."
So if you put one of them balls in each hand, Sov, will they roll down your arms and meet behind your neck?
Well, I have trouble keeping.
Would that make you the penis in between them?
I have trouble holding them apart. Even I mean,
Yeah.
right now they're having this tendency to want to draw
Ooh.
together to one another for some reason.
Strange.
Yeah, I know, huh? Damn it, that mass attracting mass is a bit.
It is.
Maybe
Yeah, but
that's why
that
those
thing about
clacker
that
things got
thing-
invented, because somebody couldn't keep their balls apart.
There you go. There you go. Has the Ark of the Covenant really been found? I was looking at some stuff about that last night too. Crazy, man. That thing looks like an electrical component, if you ask me.
It's got a lot of gold in it, that's for sure.
it was built a certain way.
Yeah, it
And,
tells you
it
exactly
was
how
very
it was built.
specific. How much wood, how much gold plating,
Yeah.
how much. It's
Yeah.
very specific.
Yep.
So on January 6, 1982, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I found the Ark of the Covenant.
Oh,
Very specific. So asserted the famous, or perhaps more appropriately infamous, amateur archaeologist, the late Ronald Wyatt. It's a statement that will naturally be met with scorn for many, but there also remains a large body of proponents who believe that Ron Wyatt really did find the Ark of the Covenant, along with his manifold other touted biblical discoveries made over a 2-decade-long period. If this Ark of the Covenant discovery is news to you, you might be thinking, why haven't I heard of it before? After this, such a jaw-dropping discovery should have received a wall-to-wall coverage worldwide. The answer to this of many of Wyatt's other discoveries, put simply, is that there is one key thing unfortunately missing: evidence. And none more lacking in evidence than what surely will be greatest discovery of them all, the Ark of the Covenant. Yet the argument from Wyatt camp is the lack of evidence is actually the result of massive Israeli government cover-up. What do you make of Wyatt's proposed discovery, guys?
no. Nope. Nope. I don't
So
think
yeah,
I think you've got more chance of that being the Ark in the film Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's more likely to be the real one than that one.
Yep.
No.
You know, one thing that I had a theory of a while back is if you look in the Great Pyramid in Giza, there's this sarcophagus that they call, right? It's this big stone carved out box. And the inner dimensions are the exact dimensions, supposedly, of the Ark itself. And there's some kind of an unexplained rupture like it was blowed out on this sarcophagus. And I had this theory that when the Jews left Egypt, they stole that ark out of the dam. That was like a component to the pyramid. And that's why they ended up chasing them after they had already
You're not the
left.
only one that thinks that, brother.
You know, it's like, hey, those fuckers took the silverware. Stop them. You know, one of those things. And I think it's really interesting because they can't figure out how this stone thing had got blowed out like that. It happens to be the exact dimensions. And the idea of these things being a source of power, the pyramids, I don't know. I just had that kind of tied together. I was like, that's food for thought.
Huh?
I think it emitted a frequency. It wasn't a power station.
And may even allowed for the parting of the Red Sea.
I think it was a throne for God when he sat in the Holy of Holies.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
Yeah,
it was
because
just
it
as
was
wild.
there. Because they said it was for his holy presence.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Biblically,
It's
it
very-
doesn't say what happened to it. So maybe like when everything got, I don't know. Maybe God did something
When
with it 'cause it
Jerusalem-
was for Holy of the Holies, you know.
Remember when Jerusalem was conquered, they took it. The Ark of the Covenant. That was supposedly the last time it was ever seen. So it's weird that it would now be under the where Jesus was crucified if it was taken.
There's also stories that Templars having away with it and stuff as well.
As well.
Yeah, the Fountain of Youth, guys.
But I thought in Bible it was built after they escaped Egypt.
It was.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I see we've got someone in here, Bubblevis.
What?
Says, hi to all, I'm a Ball Earth, but I'm interested in a lot of things and very open-minded. Don't ban me. Just tell me to leave and I'll be gone. So in other words, it's just a troll, probably.
Just don't troll
Probably,
and you'll be all right.
Yeah, but that's a troll comment.
Yeah.
But that's what gives the person wondering, if you really want to be honest, why do you say such idiotic stuff like that?
right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No.
But anyway, let's get on. Regia, the evidence or lack thereof. This is what stand. Okay, so the Standard Brothers present a list form, a rundown summary of some of Wyatt's most notable discoveries. Okay, still waiting for the presentation of any evidence whatsoever. But let's move down to where it is in the Ark. Okay, this is from the Ark of the Covenant. The blood chromosome record cannot be revealed because the Israeli authorities have prohibited such revelation, as it could cause a war in the Middle East. What?
Isn't that what they're after?
So in other words, you can't see the blood.
The war's
chromosome
over there
record.
all the time anyway.
So they keep keeping it in secret. Is that what it's saying?
Yeah.
Then it says the cave concealing the ark is not for our eyes because God does not wish to see it and the temple furniture within. So in other words, he was okay enough to go in and get the ark, but the rest of us aren't allowed to see it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
God closed the tunnel to the ark cave
Got to be
because
part
he
of the
did.
club.
Yeah, but you see, this is what I'm saying. There's a lot of red flags considering his claims towards this. I mean, God closed the tunnel to the ark cave because he did not desire the ABN group who had paid Wyatt to come film to see those holy objects. Why?
I think it's like they were always there, and governments have always known about these archaeological sites. I think maybe he were to discover them, and then last one pushing it as ark and all, that whole story discredits all other finds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then people just see them as all being bumped.
That's the thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Because
That's
I
right.
do believe he did discover Sodom and Gomorrah. There's no doubts there. You can go to look at it. You
That's
can
quite
literally
convincing.
see that. You can see the outlines of the building still.
Yeah,
You can
that's-
see the sulfur balls. You only get that sulfur there. You get it nowhere else on Earth.
Yeah.
The Red Sea crossing. Yep. This chariot wheels and everything's precisely like the type of chariot wheels that there was in those times for the Egyptians.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
But
was
when it
just
comes
looking
to
at
the
pictures.
other, but when it comes to the other discoveries like the Ark of the Covenant and for Noah's Ark, I don't believe he discovered them.
Man, I
It's
remember when I was a
very
kid, they had before shows like In Search of and things like that, they had these documentary movies, and me and my dad would go see them. And there was one, if I'm not mistaken, it was actually narrated by Leonard Nimoy too, and it was about the Noah's Ark being found, and it was a whole documentary. Me and my dad went and watched it at the movie theater, where they tested these things out. Now, I'll tell you an interesting thing about that. They refer to a fertile crescent in the Bible, and we in this river. Okay, there's a fertile crescent here in America called the Gulf of Mexico. Now, they say that Noah's Ark was specifically built of a kind of wood called gopher wood.
Gopher wood, yeah.
And around that area is the only place in the world you find gopher wood growing. Is right there around the Gulf of Mexico in America. So there's even some stories that there's a psyop involved with the idea of this shit having taken place there, as opposed to it actually having taken place here. So I don't know, man.
I once read a Masonic book that said America was part of Egypt.
They called
Everyone's part of everything.
They used to. Washington D.C. was once called Rome.
Wow.
Yeah, it was once called Rome before it became Washington City. And we've got Athens. We've got Athens. We've got Syracuse. We've got Palestine, where the train derailed last year with all those toxic chemicals on it. Nivea. I mean, we've got all the same cities. Athens, Georgia. There's Corinth. All these places here in America. And they'll say, well, they named them after biblical places. And I'm like, did they? I don't know. Because let's face it, we've been under one of the most brilliantly crafted psyops all of our lives. Okay, they've lied to us about when we are, where we are, and who we are. And that's like the first things an amnesia victim asks: who am I? Where am I? What day is it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Collective amnesia forced upon the masses through generational programming. Man, this is brilliant. Diabolical, but brilliant at the same time.
I was going to say that Sodom and Gomorrah documentary I've got on my channel that I got from Michael's channel that I put out the other day. I've got that one there. That's a good documentary on it, isn't it, Michael?
Yeah.
That one's pretty decent.
Poor Flatzoid's got those sinus problems going on, and that would be due to a fluctuation in what? Pressure. Yes, that's right. It's not constant. It's not constant. It fluctuates all the time. And the symptoms that Flatzoid is having right now is an example of that happening.
Do I need containment for that?
Absolutely. In fact, because your sinuses are a container, in this container, where the pressure of this container out here is having an influence on the pressure in this container called the sinus. You're just a whole bunch of containers. You're a container full of containers. That's what we are. That's what everything is.
Exactly.
But what terrified that wood that it would turn into a rock?
I don't know, but it was sure scary.
I didn't even think wood had feelings.
Oh yeah, plants do have feelings, by the way.
Well, that's an interesting thing. If you take plants, for instance, and you play different types of music to them, they grow differently.
That is interesting. And that famous cornfield, or the guy with the tomatoes playing classical music to his plants, and they yield like a 100-fold harvest or something like that.
They took in this greenhouse, right, and they wired up the plants to where they could detect. It was almost like an EEG machine where they could detect electromagnetic fluctuations. Well, here's what they did. They'd have the researchers were going through there and they're looking at it and the music's playing and everything, and they're getting this reading. One of the researchers, his job, he grabbed one of the plants, ripped it out of the pot violently, and started destroying it. The other plants started reacting to this, giving almost like a fear response, right? At this other plant being destroyed. Once that had calmed down and the researchers had left, got it back to the regular conditions again. They had people walk through, no problem. The guy, when he walked through, the guy that ripped up the plants started going fucking crazy. They started like almost panicking, like they recognized that was the guy that tore one of us up. It's amazing. There is sentience. If you look at mycelium that cover through, it's like a neural network through the soil. Allowing all the plants, they communicate like through this neural network. And it's been shown that these mycelium will detect that one of the trees it's connected to is not getting enough nutrients, but this other tree over here's got an overabundance of it. They'll actually transfer nutrients from the one tree to the one who's deficient. It's amazing. That's why I say we got to get off this idea that we're on Earth. We are Earth. We're part of this. Man, just like your kidneys are part of your overall system. It can't survive without you, and you can't survive really without it. So it has to be part of the system. And once we realize that we are actually part of this huge system, this huge organism, if you will, a living, replenishing machine.
It's funny, Jesus called it a system of things.
Yeah. You did. You did.
So that's the thing. You're not on Earth. You are Earth.
That's it. We all kind of coexist together, don't we? If it wasn't for either, I don't think any of it would be able to survive. You know, like without people to till the land, it wouldn't go anywhere. You know, it wouldn't do itself. Without the land, we wouldn't live. You know, it's kind of like, yeah, I get what you're saying, man.
Well, and it's sort of like when I hear these Globers, they get upset, you know, at the prospect of a firmament. And the response is pretty much this: we're trapped. You mean we're trapped? And it's like, what do you mean trapped? Where the hell would you go? My God, there's everything you could possibly need right here. Anything you could possibly want is right here.
Wow, exactly.
You know?
And if there was such a thing as the heliocentric model, if that was real, you're still trapped because you ain't got no machinery that can take you that distance. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And where would you go? Like Brenda was talking about, I would go to
You're
Mars.
gonna need a submarine, dude.
Mars. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Guys,
What's the longest flight you've ever been on? She said, I went from Minnesota to Seattle. And I'm like, yeah, a couple hours on an airplane. Imagine that on a smaller airplane with the same people annoying the shit out of you for several months or a year or more while you're eating out of envelopes, bored out of your ass. What are you going to do for that period of time? Then once you get to Mars, what do? You have to suit up and you go out and bounce around for a little while. That's going to get old pretty quick. What are you going to do once you get there?
Yeah. just listen to this quickly, guys. He stuck his synthesizer with pads on a plant. Listen to the sounds it makes, and it makes different sounds with different moods, which is really weird.
Lots of really interesting different movements, different structures.
The plant's making those sounds.
You get times when the random is more active and when it's less active.
Weird. Now those are pulses coming from the plant.
Wow.
And it changes.
Wow.
I mean, if you can talk a plant nice, I mean, I think it's Israel and stuff where they actually bless their crops, and it gives. This one guy actually is a testimony where he grows lemons, and the one lemon tree he grew, he blessed it, and the lemons grew to look like basketballs so big, just by blessing it. So he just went to it every day and just prayed over it and blessed it. The other, he left. The other one was right next to it, and it just looked like an ordinary lemon. What does that tell you?
I tell you, man, the integral common thing involved there is the water, the living water. This is what's integral. Water has memory. It carries vibration. That's why I think there is something to the idea of holy water, that if it is truly blessed with intent, that memory will hold that water. There's been countless numbers of experiments to show that this is true. Yeah, and there again, that water vibration being integral to the frequencies that we experience.
That's why there's something to like saying grace before you eat and stuff, you know.
And it's first and foremost, this is what is intent. People don't understand how powerful intent is. You see, and you can actually focus your intentions. I brought this example up before, that you could be in a party or a crowded room and you can feel someone staring at you from behind. How do you feel that? You're feeling the intent. You're feeling that energy of intention. If any of you have ever been deer hunting before, you can pull that buck up into your scope, get a beautiful sight on him, and the moment you think about pulling that trigger, that deer's ears go up, its flag goes up, and it takes off. Now, how did he know what you were thinking?
Exactly. Look at this. He's going to play music for
Yeah, they do.
different growths. Now that's music. The one side's music. The one side's not music. Okay. And it's going to show you it's going to show the difference in the growth. Really, really awesome. Okay, let's play some music. Let's get to where you can see the difference. This is a time lapse. Check there. Look, the one playing the music. So it's compared to where it's not. You're going to see when it gets to the end. I think it was this one. Look how that one's falling over. Look how this one's like almost greener. It looks like it's dancing. Really odd. And this one's leaning. Why is that? That's what I say when they say even the plants will cry out. I believe they will.
Even the rocks will cry out. Yeah, I don't know.
Rocks,
I gotta be honest. A lot of this sounds like, I don't know, hippie stuff, dude.
It does, but a lot of the hippie stuff's based on biblical truth, unfortunately.
Yeah. You got to be careful about that. There was something that got co-opted by the system and redirected into a drug culture. Okay, it wasn't about that when it first started. What the hippie movement is exactly what Flatzoid was saying. It was based on Christian beliefs. Younger people were seeing the actual message that was being put forth in the Bible and standing up to their stuffy Bible-beating parents. And that generation that was so strict and contradictory in their actions as opposed to what they were preaching from the pulpit. And that's where it first got started out. And of course, yes, the use of mind expanding substances was explored. And I have to admit myself that a lot of my spirituality was brought to me through the use of entheogens like that, mushrooms and the like, and gave me a more profound and deeper understanding of my own place in this cosmos. You know what I'm saying? That I'm actually, like I was saying, I'm a part of it. I'm not on it. I'm not in it. I'm part of it. My existence matters. That there's purpose to it. And there's more to me than just this meat suit that I walk around in. That's where
That's
most
definitely
people's
true.
delusion lies, is they can't see beyond the world. They can't see beyond the physical. Who are you? And they'll say, well, I'm John Smith and I'm a plumber and I blah. No. I didn't ask you about your role. Who are you?
I don't know. Just like earlier when I was talking about the temple, Ryan made the comment, "The temple's in your mind," and I'm like, "No, that's not the case." And then,
No, it's not.
Sovereign, you're like, "Yeah, you are the Earth," and I'm like, "No, I'm not actually." And then, like when you're like, "There's hundreds of scientific evidence of water having memory,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Man, I don't think so."
Yeah, it does. What was that Japanese guy? He just died recently. Yamamoto, I'm wanting to say his name is.
Yamamoto. In with rice.
Yeah, well, not just rice, but some interesting things he showed too was that water with positive intent, when flash froze and gave forth these beautiful symmetrical crystals, whereas water exposed to ill intent would not. It would actually be
It had
this
water memory.
amorphous crap, right? So yes, it does carry that. They've actually been able to have water retain an image. I mean, there's really it's a mysterious substance. We can't create it. You know, although we supposedly know the components of it, we can't create it. So yeah, I can understand where you're coming from with that, but the idea that you are the earth, yes, everything about you is of this thing. You're part of the same Lego set, the physical aspect of you. Okay. There's more beyond just your physical aspect of you. This is how you get around in this reality. But is that the sum all and be all of your entire self? No, absolutely not. It comes down to it, your infinite awareness having an experience as Sovereign Soul, Unchained Mind, or PJ.
Look, the thing you have to understand, your body's only temporary.
That's right.
Your soul, that's eternal.
Oh, and I wanted to point out too, this is it says that the temple shall be built in silence. No axe, nor hammer, nor chisel shall be heard in the house as the temple is being built. What is the temple? Here we are. Here's your temple. What is that silence? That's the meditation. That's the meditation. And as you go through, or prayer if you wish, and as it says, upon the breaking of the seventh seal, the temple shall be built. Enter the door through the left-hand side, or through the right-hand side, the right hand being the God side of the mind. And there you will meet God. There you will be face to face with God. What is that seventh seal? It's the seventh chakra point. The seventh chakra point being that crown chakra. Once it's open, it's almost like your Wi-Fi. It's kind of like your Wi-Fi. You've got your optimum signal. Boom.
Yeah, but you see, that's just people trying to reify physicality to spiritualism. That's where we've got to be careful though, because that comes into New Age.
Well, I have found that when that crown chakra is open, you do see beyond. You get more revelation than you can actually believe.
Maybe
but that's why the Bible
need to be.
That's why the Bible specifically warns against things like that. You know, like necromancy and doing magic and
astral projecting and stuff.
Because of that stuff, because you are linking into the spiritual realm, and you don't know what you're gonna be coming back with. But Matt, you want to say something?
Oh, I've never been kicked right in the chakra, and maybe that's what.
Sure you have. Sure you have. A lot of us guys have probably been kicked right directly in the root chakra, my friend.
But yeah, David, have you guys heard about the heifers? I mean, we've been saying about it lately. The 5 red heifers that have been sent to Israel. I think they've already started offering 2 of them already. So what they're doing already is these 5 red heifers, they're already offering them up and doing the offerings and burning them up, so they have the ashes to use for the third temple. So yeah, just like Revelation says, we're really close to the third temple being built.
You know, I was wondering about the third temple. It's all in the news here lately, and I think perhaps, I don't know, right? But perhaps, like, what if they used a like a what if, right? This is so silly to even talk about this. But what if they use a false alien invasion to destroy the Dome of the Rock, and then everybody unites behind this rebuilding of the third temple? Wouldn't it be interesting?
I think that whole Gaza routine was a preparation for the destruction of the Dome of the Rock, but they didn't get the traction that they were looking for. They received. There's more protest against Israel's action in Gaza than there has been favorable reaction to it. A lot of people are going, no, this is bullshit. And even that Greg Locke guy, I saw where he was giving one of his sermons, and he's like, we should just get that whole thing cleared off and let them blow that evil dome right off that rock so the third temple can be built. And I'm like, holy crap. And then I just run across massive altar for the red heifer sacrifice has been constructed in Israel.
David, who did I say? It's who's that preacher who says Kenneth Copeland?
Copeland, yeah.
Kenneth Copeland.
Woo-wee.
Wow. That man is not of
I
God.
want to show you what he said about Donald Trump.
Oh, God. Yeah. There was a woman who came out and said, oh, God talked to me and said that he's proud of his son and all this other. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me, man.
That's blasphemous.
Okay, yeah, let's use this one.
Degree.
I see, yeah, from Peterson. He also brought this out. So let me just quickly get to it. This is like, whoo! Let's quickly get to. Let's get in the point quickly. Getting the. Okay. Get it up because this is just listen to what's being said. Yeah, this is scary stuff, people. Very scary stuff.
You were born again of the Spirit. You were born of the Spirit. You were born exactly with the same spiritual DNA as Jesus. You were born with the DNA of God Almighty. You're not a little like Jesus. You are exactly like Jesus.
Wow.
That's what he's saying about Donald Trump.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. He believes the little God's doctrine. He believes because we're the image of God, we are God.
And who's the last? I'm sorry. I want to ask. What happened to Lucifer when he decided to equal himself with God?
Right.
You know. Old custy, downy. Off you go,
Listen,
dude.
yeah.
Not happening.
Listen, yeah.
Only one room up the ark for one God.
Yeah, this
The
is another
source of her information.
Listen, yeah. Oh. You think that's bad? This is what you're talking about now, so. Oh.
Thank you.
Come on. Bad.
What I was hearing the Lord say was, this is my son with whom I'm well pleased.
No.
What?
No.
This is my son.
I'm surprised.
Who I'm with well pleased.
I'm surprised she never said begotten. I'm surprised.
Well,
wow.
take what did she actually say? My Lord has said. Is that what she? Okay. Well, is she talking about God?
Yeah, I could clearly hear God telling me. I had a vision, and this is what I felt the Holy Spirit telling me. This is my son, who I am well pleased. She's literally calling him Jesus, just like Kenneth Copeland called him Jesus, equal to Jesus. And the problem is,
Yeah.
Trump is accepting this, and Trump just brought out his own new Bible.
Anson Howard says the orange Jesuit.
But look at it this way: he just brought out his own new Bible, Bless America Bible, putting his own words in that Bible, and he's moving the embassy to Jerusalem, and he's very invested in the third temple.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Now everybody, instead of going, now they're going to have to say, so is that from the NIV, the KJV, or the DJT?
He's using the KJV, but he's adding words to it to say like what your guys bless America and all that in there. But what does the Bible say about adding words to the Bible?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So,
plagues of the Bible will be added to you.
I don't think she was. I think she was using God as title and not in reference to the Creator. As I've said before, God is a title, not a name. And
yeah, but remember in reference to when. Remember that was in special reference to when Jesus got baptized, and then God came down as a dove and said, "This is my son, who I am well pleased." She used it in reference to that, calling Trump Jesus, saying God is calling Trump Jesus, his son.
I wouldn't want to be standing too close to her just in case some lightning was involved. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, that's hectic
I
stuff.
don't know who the person of the Antichrist is, right? I used to think it was Arnold Schwarzenegger for a long time, but Donald Trump is now a suspect. I'm just saying.
It's like I said, my newest radar is Donald Trump. I'm not saying it is him. Don't get me wrong, guys. I'm just saying everything's kind of aligning to him.
It is. Well, it's with Israel crowning him the Moshiach, him moving the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Now we've got here in Texas. This is where they're sending the red heifers from Texas in the United States.
And this is why America is so invested in Israel as well. Because they need to be close for the third temple.
That Zionist crap, man.
So yeah, it's close, guys.
Yeah, it can't be far away.
Dude, we will know. Listen, everybody talks about the last days, and it is the last days since the Lord Jesus Christ, right? There's nothing, right? So since the last days, it's been called the last days, and the spirit of the Antichrist is in the world. So by definition, right? If you're against the Lord Jesus Christ, you have the spirit of Antichrist.
Yeah.
So Donald Trump is not a Christian. He doesn't believe in the life, death, and resurrection of the Lord Jesus Christ to save his people from his sins. That's not so. By definition,
very open about it.
Antichrist.
He's been very open about it.
Right. I mean, but the signs of the times, right? If we see the temple being rebuilt, guys, you gotta know that you're in the very last days.
Yeah, and the red heifers and all that. I mean, they were specifically brought up for this, so they can be offered to build the temple.
Yeah.
Let me see, how long does this say?
So yeah, it's Retro Bull. Hey man, good to see you. Thank you for your $10 super chat. Really, really appreciate it, man. He says, "World of the day, discernment." 100% agree, man. Really appreciate it, man. And I think this is the most important time for people to actually pick up their Bibles and actually study the Word, especially with everything that's busy happening with all the Mandela effects and stuff. Obviously, people aren't going to be able to get the strength they need because it's too changed. But thank you very much for the super chat, Retro Bull. You rock.
So there was, we had these fires here in Virginia, in the mountains all around me, and one of the fire departments took this picture. It was really cool. I'll see if I can find it here in a minute. There was a tree back in the woods that had been broke over a long time ago, and someone had fashioned a wooden cross and made it sticking up out of the top of the tree. And that tree burned up the side and then stopped before it got to that cross.
Wow.
That was pretty cool. That video I've got up in the background right there. That's CBS talking about the red heifers in Jerusalem that they're wanting to give them. I don't know if you wanted to show that or not.
Yeah, sure. Oh, shame. I just got a message from Sean Hawkins on Discord swearing at me again and then blocked me.
What for?
Because my
Oh,
last
is it?
video showing him to be a liar.
Oh,
So
God.
now again, I'm a child abuser. I'm a show. I'm a retard.
Oh, I can't believe you said that. You can't just shout them things out when they're not true.
Oh.
Stupid and horrible thing to shout out to call anybody.
It's okay. I'm praying for the guy. Let's put it this way. The reason I take it so easy with him is because I do feel he's demon possessed. I do feel he's screaming for help, and he hasn't got a lot of time. He's not a young dude. So yeah, as much as he wants to be that way with me, Sean, I do pray for you, man. I do pray you do see the light before it's too late. I don't know ways to put it.
Yeah. Yeah, I
mean,
kind of
if
feel
he blocked
the
you,
same way.
thank God for that.
Yeah. So he can't message me again.
Yeah, I gotta say that I kind of have that same feeling about him.
Is this one you want to show?
Yeah. Oh wait, it helps if there's sound, doesn't it? Let me back it. Where is she? There we go. Oh come on, you suckwad. There we go.
Its
But I
sixth
mean,
month.
the fire
The
was
Israeli
huge.
operation to root out Hamas terrorists there has
Oh, there we
resulted
go.
in the deaths of 30,000 Palestinians and 242 Israeli soldiers. The war started after Hamas attacked Israel on October 7th, killing almost 1,200 people and taking nearly 230 hostage. Some
You know, the
still
thing
in
with stuff like
captivity.
this as well,
Despite the deadly outcome
you can't
across
get
the
the
region,
correct
one
information.
trigger for the Hamas rampage has been widely overlooked. Chris Livesay has the story from Jerusalem.
And we can't watch it all, unfortunately.
Let me pull that
Because,
up to where it's
yeah.
talking about the. There we go.
There's the red FS.
To rebuilding the historic Jewish temple in Jerusalem and to beckoning the Messiah. To understand, you have to go back nearly 2,000 years when the ancient Romans destroyed the last temple in the city. To rebuild it, these believers point to the Bible's book of Numbers. It commands the Israelites to sacrifice a red heifer without defect or blemish, and that has never been under a yoke. Only then can the temple rise again.
And that's exactly what they're
Caring
doing.
for them on an Israeli settlement in the West Bank is Yitzhak Mamo.
So we have here, after a long research, we find in Texas.
In Texas?
Yeah, Texas, United
Texas.
States of America.
Texas Red Angus, flying them 7,000 miles to Israel.
This is not a publicity stunt.
What
She
do you
keeps
mean?
Meaning, this is something you take very seriously.
Harry Potter is a good story. The Bible is not story. The Bible is a way of God to lead us.
A
Hey,
massive
Liv, what's
altar
up, man? Good to see
already
you.
awaits, where
There's
the
the altar.
heifers are to be burned.
Yeah, let's conclusion.
According to some believers, the ceremony needs to be performed right here on the Mount of Olives, looking directly into where the temple once stood. But something else now stands in its place.
The Dome of the Rock and Al-Aqsa Mosque, among the holiest sites in Islam.
You see, now this is the
Today,
thing that they're
only
trying
Muslims
to.
are allowed inside, but that's not stopping Jewish activists outside.
Once you got, you started here.
6 days a week, Melissa Jane Kronfeld leads groups from around the world who defiantly pray, as close as armed guards permit.
It's not about the destruction of Islamic holy sites. It is about preserving this place and being guardians over the house of God for all people.
So you're happy with it where it is?
No, it's going to go 100%, but I believe
It's gonna go.
It's 100%. Yeah, the whole thing is going to go. We have to build a temple.
When you say that Dome of the Rock has to go,
Did you see that? The whole thing's got to go. We got to build the
it's hard
temple.
for me to imagine something more incendiary.
Did you see how they're pushing
Let
for
me
it?
ask you something.
Yeah.
The Middle
It's like, oh, that pesky billboard that's in the way. We'll just get rid of that. You know.
I could see why the Lord Jesus Christ, when he comes back, he's
and the
gonna be
war, if I'm not mistaken, is already
Sorry,
here.
Matt. What's that?
when the Lord Jesus Christ comes back, he's going to be very angry.
Mm-hmm.
Vexed.
You see, the thing is, the problem with with the Jewish culture though is they've always seen the temple as the physical place. You know, that's the holy site where God present
Yeah.
was. They haven't accepted that the Holy Spirit. That's what I'm saying. That's why they will. I have to either accept Jesus when he returns as the Mashiach, and
It
that's
don't dwell in places built by men.
exactly. So
Yeah, that's it.
but that's why it's God's chosen people. They don't have that understanding yet.
Yeah, I've got a whole other thing I found on the genetic test done of the people in Israel too. So that's kind of crazy. They're not even Hebrew. The Palestinians have like 70% of Hebrew DNA, whereas the people that are migrating there as to their lost homeland, they've all European DNA.
You know what's going to happen with Eclipse? There's going to be a large earthquake, and the dome's going to fall.
I'll bet. You know, you got to look like you were saying, like with Donald Trump. I mean, look at that stuff. When he went over and talked to the Queen, he comes out. I'm looking at this thing. I'm going, wait a second.
Like
That's going way against protocol. You don't walk ahead of the Queen. You don't reach out and grab the Queen's hand. Only if she offers it. There's a whole bunch of shit that they got protocol with this woman. If they was having one of those dinners, when she's done, everybody's done. That's it.
Yeah.
You stop eating when she does. That's all.
I mean, he goes to a country where you're not even allowed to touch the prince or the sheikhs. I mean, he literally goes and taps him on his shoulder. Like, no death penalty for him.
So this is where they want it.
To be clear, hers is a dream not shared by the Israeli government or by the vast majority of Israelis and Jews, but it's been enough to incite numerous Islamist groups. Hamas has dubbed its October 7 assault on Israel the Al-Aqsa Wave and has the Dome of the Rock on its emblem. But this is sacred ground to billions of Muslims globally, not just Hamas terrorists, stresses Imam Mustafa Abu Sway of Al-Aqsa Mosque.
Al-Aqsa Mosque belongs to all Muslims. So you'll find reaction from Indonesia to Toronto to New York. That's really given. Al-Aqsa Mosque belongs to all Muslims, and the Muslims today are 2 billion people.
You see how the problem with that is it does belong to the Muslims now, okay? But before that, it belonged to the Jews. You know, it keeps it so everyone sees it as a different way. The Jews see that's their place because it was first Jewish site.
Right.
Then came the Muslims. They conquered. They decided to build their holy temple and the mosque on there. So it's always going to. That's why they can never get peace between the two. But what's going to happen if Trump comes and makes a resolution with them? You know what I mean? He gets it somehow to say, "Hey, I'm making peace between you guys. Let's build the third temple together."
Oh wow!
You never know.
I hadn't thought of that option.
So
These
you just
acts,
don't know.
are these Jewish activists kicking a hornet's nest?
They are. They are.
A hornet's nest they're kicking all the way to Capitol Hill.
So good to see you here in the nation's capital.
Those sacred cows were showcased in Washington at a recent prayer gathering. Many evangelicals believe these red heifers will usher Christ's second coming.
We need the Messiah to come, right? So for me, the red heifer is red for the blood
But you
of
see,
Jesus
now this
Christ.
is
Back in
radical.
the West.
This is not radical stuff. They're praying for it to happen.
Yep.
Okay.
Right, because they need these heifers for the instruments for the temple so that they can make atonement for their sins. But the whole problem is the reason why the Lord Jesus Christ would be upset is because He is the atonement for the sins of His people.
Exactly. But what's bothering me is these are the Christians doing this.
Who's
The people that's supposed to understand it's
who's the Messiah they're waiting for? Because
exactly
the Messiah came once and they denied him.
Oh,
they got this. I see so many of these Christians for Israel. And I'm like, they don't feel the same way. You don't see any Israelites for Christians. You don't ever see that. You don't ever see any Jews for Christians. None of that. And this is even begs like our treaty. the United States has, this alliance that we have. And I break it down real simple. Here's the alliance we have with Israel. We give them billions of dollars in weaponry and aid a year, and they let us. There it is. There's the treaty. And if somebody picks on them, we have to go respond. But if somebody picks on us, they can just sit back and go, oh, well, hope for the best. And it's really one-sided. It's not even worth it, man.
Bank. Mamo
It's
says the
almost-
ceremony
That's
could
it.
take place
They're
any
waiting
day.
for the first coming, aren't they? We're
Can
waiting
you
for the
understand
second.
why Hamas could be outraged by something like this?
I cannot understand that even if they are right, why they have to slaughter and rape people to win their war.
Terrorists have been attacking us before we ever dreamed of these
Okay,
cows,
I can
he
explain why
reflects.
Hamas is doing
They
what
don't
they're
need
doing.
them as an excuse to
It's very
kill.
simple.
For
It's because
CBS,
they believe, because they're just doing what the Quran is telling them to do. Because the Quran is very specific. They will not be able to get to heaven, quote unquote, until there is no Jews or Christians left. That's unfortunately what the Quran says, and they believe the Muslims today are not holding up to that standard, and that's why Allah won't bless them and get to heaven, because we are all in the way. Hey, PJ, I love the ramen behind you, mate.
Yeah, man. No, well, we had no, because I'm noodling up on that. You had the Red Bulls up, so I thought have the red noodles, for the old noodle.
Red
And I
Epinephrine.
just grabbed some of the old Red Bull itself. Oh, come on, it's not showing.
Because
Bit of Red Bull there, look.
Yeah, Red Bull and ramen.
Yeah.
Red
But I mean,
Epinephrine.
this is exactly why ISIS formed. This is exactly why you get the Brotherhood. It's because they are trying to keep to what Islam says, because that's what their belief is. They need to subdue the Jews and the Christians before Allah will bless them. Red heifer napper.
There's another energy drink called Monster.
Yeah, I know it's got the 666 on it. The Hebrew 666. Yeah. Yeah, the three. Yeah, the M is made up of the three Hebrew symbols for 6, 6, and 6, isn't it? Yeah, it's crazy. It's blatant. It's blatant.
Liv, can you hear us?
Yeah.
I mean, look at what's his name, Bruce Willis. He's got an energy drink called it's just Devil. I think it's called Devil.
Well, we can't help it. You like drinking bull semen, okay?
Well, we've got 7-Eleven stores over here, little convenience stores called 7-Eleven, and they have their own brand of snacks. It's called Go Yum.
Sorry,
Yum.
it's not called Devil.
Go Yum. Really?
Goyam.
Wow.
Really? That's not a take on anything, is it?
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bruce Willis's energy drink's not called Devil. It's called Hell.
Oh,
Hell Energy.
Okay. Lev, what you want to say, man? Good to see you, by the way.
Hello, how we doing?
Good, and yourself?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about my research that I've done and stuff like.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Just like we're talking about like water having memory and all these kind of things. And with my research, I do like these series of videos like called like the Realm of Nature and the Religions of Life. So like like where I kind of like started like the micro to the macro aspect of things, relating where humans came from the trees. So like the giant trees and all these kind of things. So it's like back then when that used to be like a full forest. It used to be like, like the brain network that it used to have. It used to be so powerful that it will have been like even more better than internet in terms of like your psychic capabilities and all these kind of things, right? But like, but with that capability of brain of what it used to be, because like a florist, they call that like a brain, how it works and all these kind of things, right? So with it being so powerful, that's when it knew it was capable to produce life, because it were already a utopia. As it is now, it's not a utopia. So it's like life can continue, but we're not getting new life. There's only life that becomes extinct and stuff like. So like when the giant trees are cut down, that's like brain damage. So like with the entire realm, there's got amnesia. So that's why we can't remember his past lives. A psychic connection is gonna so down and because we're like in a dark age of spirituality in a way. Like in the past, we used to have like take a breath. You used to have like pineal glands the size of walnuts and all these kind of things. Maybe even live 1,000+ years or whatever and stuff like. And it's like in that kind of utopia, I can see it being highly probable. But like how things are now, you know what I mean? Since the forest has been cut down and stuff, it's been like survival ever since and stuff like.
As I
So
say, it's like so like entropy is taking a hold of everything. Everything's just dying.
it's reproducing. It's what it is. It's the plants are doing their job, but the government is doing their job because they're at war with nature. So they're like trying to destroy it. You know what I mean? Like covertly. You know what I mean? They teach you that trees don't matter, plants don't matter. It's just vegetation don't matter. You know what I mean? And stuff like. I mean, you know, there's a pushing pull with it because they do all this stuff of like acting like they're doing good, you know, like these green movements and stuff like that kind of thing. Like, whereas you know when you look into them, they're not actually that good, like kind of thing. Like, but but I don't know, like going further onto it and stuff like because like all plants are all connected to water. Like you know, if you all use water, all life does. So like that part of that with the memory and stuff, like the water, that is you. It's like when you die or when a plant dies, it's just a shell. You know what I mean? You've got like the remains of what it used to be, and it'll break down and become nothing. All that water has come back out. So it's like it returns to source in a way. So that's like what had happened to us in a way as well. So it's like you know when we pass away, we kind of return to source in that same sense and stuff like. So when you look into ocean, and a bit like the series specialized on that and stuff like, and you've got the memory of the water. It's reproduced on all the markings. So especially like on fish, sometimes you get like a picture of the horizon and like of the waves and all these kind of things and stuff. And it's like you never really noticed them before. They just look like stripes and stuff like. But now I can see it. It looks like a really detailed photograph. It's like wow, you know what I mean and stuff like. There's loads of them, and how you connect them together, and then how this like it associates to your anatomy. So your anatomy, how your shape is also to do with ocean and how that forms and stuff like that because it's loose. It can take form in whatever it needs to. You know what I mean? Whatever's appropriate for the environment and stuff like that. So the water knows. It knows how much oxygen's in the air. It knows how much strength it is, and to use the word gravity, you know, what I mean, all these kind of things. Anything which is like, you know, like density and buoyancy and all these kind of things is more appropriate. And you know, like the water gets to understand it, it gets to know what it's like and stuff like that kind of thing. Like, so when it reproduces it, it does it into anatomy. It's using the same patterns. So you can see everywhere. Like my videos show like the details of it and stuff like that kind of thing. Like, and then you compare the pictures on side of fish to like these moths, and there's like this atlas moth, and it's like got like it looks like a snake's head, but like where the mouth is looks like the horizon. So you can see how the micro to the macro is kind of like repeated in that same fashion. It's kind of like it's done it in a way which is mind blowing, really. You know what I mean? Because like when it comes to your face is actually linked to the horizon and where the sun is and all these kind of things. Turn your face into the side, you've got a center line, haven't you? So that'd be the horizon, and underneath the bottom half of it, that'd be the reflection. So you've got a reflection of the sun, which is your eye, your mouth, and your nose as well, kind of thing, like, but in different parts of the day. So like time's involved as well. So like your involvement in this 3D reality, it involves the external aspects of the 3D reality. So it's like it proves that you are a micro of that macro. You know, you're the yin of the yang, and that's kind of like, you know, you are both one. So when all these companies that cause pollution, they're actually causing harm to your body. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like that is our body, because that's our brain network. That's our external brain network. It's the forest and all these kind of things. So everything which is in nature, it needs to be treated sacredly. You know what I mean? And
But you know what's great about all this though? The information was there. It just didn't pop out of nothing. Information had to be there to store that memory, to be able to adapt.
oh, the sun, because it's a combination. It's a conversation between the ocean and the sun. But most part, it's all elements. All elements are involved in it and stuff like. But most part, it's gonna like it's essentially the water and the sun kind of thing, and how they relate to each other. Because it's like there's information in there, so it's like it must be like all sacred geometry. You see, sacred geometry exists anyway. The water finds it. You know what I mean? So kind of all connected.
It's quite interesting. But that's what I said. You can get different frequencies. You can get different people saying the different things, and that's why I still believe words have power. Words have meanings, and that's why you get people that get depressed and they get angry and they get happy. Yeah, there's the book solved. Yeah, exactly.
It's how people talk to themselves as well, isn't it? As well, because people can teach themselves to be depressed just because of how their spirit is choosing to be. You know what I mean? Because it's like you can go through something quite heavy and traumatic, and that can put you into a bit of a state, but you can still move past the depression aspect. You know what I mean? Because really, that's just like an act of self-pity, and continuing to be on that act of self-pity. And if pity don't heal you, you know what I mean? It's gonna like you need to aim for healing and move forward rather than sulking in that negative energy. You know what I mean? If you're never going to get out of it, it's just going to be that same pattern on a daily basis and stuff like it.
Yeah, you have to. That's why it's very important to put positivity into your life. Because if you're always going to have negativity around you, you're never going to get out of negativity.
It's like when I told you about when I went Ellement and brain damage and all these kind of things and stuff like that. And but you know, right into Kung Fu though. So it's like, you know, it didn't take me long to well, it took me a while in a sense and stuff like because it had no strength and all that kind of stuff like. So it's kind of like you have to do your set but without, you know, proper movement. So you're just doing hand movements and stuff like. I couldn't stand up and all that kind of stuff like, or get up off the floor and all these kind of things. But like 2 years later, I was doing caps, skip ups, butterfly kicks, all that kind of stuff like. 3 years later, I found a Wing Chun class, and I was off with that kind of thing then. So you know, I just never stopped. It's kind of like moving forward. That's how you heal. You know what I mean? Because if I sat there in self pity, felt fed up or whatever, and felt sorry for myself, that's just there's no solution to it. You know what I mean? Other than thinking otherwise. You know what I mean? And getting out of that kind of thoughts.
But I think this was a great conversation, guys. You agree? There's actually we should have more of these just chatting and looking at stuff. I actually wanted to get into the Bohemian Grove tonight as well.
Oh,
I think that's for another time.
Yeah.
Even
Ryan Garcia has been talking about it as well. Another boxer, he's been talking about Bohemian Grove, and he's been blowing up Hollywood and stuff and that as well at the minute.
I just had this news thing pop up on my phone. It said that the Earth is spinning faster. Clocks may have to skip a second to catch up. As this Earth-changing spin has threatened to toy with our sense of time, clocks and computerized society in an unprecedented way, but only for a second. For the first time in history, world timekeepers may have to consider subtracting a second from our clocks in a few years because the planet is rotating a tad faster than it used to.
Dude, where to get the energy to speed up?
Guys, I think I saw something today where, NASA finds city lights on a planet 7 trillion miles away.
Oh, for crying out loud.
A James Webb telescope discovered a planet that's 7 trillion miles away with a city that has lights on it.
Well, let's get this show on the road. We'll go visit.
Wow. But
So
tell me, how do you see light 7 trillion light years away, 7 trillion miles away, if they can't even see a light in the next city?
It's not even a. You can't even comprehend that distance. Nobody can even comprehend that distance. That number is beyond comprehension, even.
Oh, PJ.
But that is reality. Is that what people are saying reality is? That's what we are spinning about all that crappy distances, all that different motions and vectors and speed. Do you know what I mean? Speeds and everything. And even that's not right because the sun's in the center. That's meant to be moving as well, isn't it?
Well, I was thinking this problem with this second, it might be due to the fact that now I got from space.com that the moon is shrinking and that this is going to pose some problems for the Artemis mission. And I thought, well, yeah, and all your gravitational mechanics are going to be fucked up now too, because if that gets smaller, then what happens to its orbit, and then that's going to affect the Earth and everything else. We're just going to fly off into oblivion. The 3-body problem caught up to us.
Yep. I think I'm gonna make something for PJ. I'm gonna show you quickly what I'm gonna base it. I'm gonna base it on this for you.
But what about? Is that the right way? Oh, where it's going?
Oh no, Captain Planet.
Captain Planet.
Captain Noodlehead.
Captain Noodle Napper.
Captain Noodle Napper. I'm gonna put your head in. Put your Noodle Napper. I'm gonna put a flat Earth.
Yeah, man.
That was a
I love that show.
That was a huge indoctrination program right there. That show.
Yep.
Captain
Fire, wind, Earth. I remember that.
Reality,
I love it.
If this is reality, why is that planet spinning on its side? And the rest is spinning totally different. Why?
Because when Copernicus discovered he was drunk.
Yeah, he must have been. Must be it. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, guys, I want to say thank you. This was an awesome stream. I enjoy these chat streams. You should have more of these. So it's nice to just. I wish I had a bit more time, but yeah, I don't. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be on Jeranism debating Jesse on surveying and perspective. So that's going to be exciting, and so I'll see you guys then. That will be 11 o'clock Central African time. So it will be now.
9 p.m.
The time now tomorrow. So I think we'll have a pre-show. Maybe we'll have a pre-show and then maybe an after show as well.
That'd be good.
Cool.
Here.
Yeah, I think Jesse, at least he's respectful to talk to. That's what I like about Jesse. He's at least very respectful. So we should at least have a nice conversation. And the new layout that Jaren's got, thank you, Dave. It's going to be much more pleasant.
Yeah, I think it's a great. It worked out even well. Even that debate was kind of a mess, I think, but the format itself worked and it accomplished exactly what I thought it would. It really limited the amount of talking over the other person and flipping back and forth, and it also reduced Craig's ability to sit there and bloviate forever and ever about why he has to restart and how you don't have any self-control and you're uneducated, blah blah blah. Go ahead, eat up your time, Craig.
Yeah, but you see, that's all he ever has as one of his strategies is overtalk a person, try and obfuscate the whole time, and you guys are overtalking me, playing little games. That's his only tactic, and now he couldn't even do that. So he just sat there stressing the whole time.
We can see gravity holding the air. Like, what? You see gravity? What?
Yeah.
But Dave, can't you see behind you? Dave, can't you see behind you? There's black stuff above the blue stuff.
I don't know how they can sit there, me, and keep a straight face. knowing that he don't. No, and he's the stupid person there because what
He's
comes out
obviously
his
not
mouth's
he's not
ridiculous.
self-aware, is he? Can't
Oh
be.
my God.
Okay.
I laughed so hard when he said this photo. I showed you a photograph of gravity holding air. I'm like,
Dave, can you show us the empirical evidence for gravity behind you, please?
yes, there it is.
Where's the data? No,
Yeah.
I showed you empirical evidence.
It's like
I don't think
it's like Vicky's ceiling is curved. You know what I mean? Just because that camera said so. You know. Wow.
But yeah, that was funny. But thanks all guys for coming. Appreciate it.
Cool.
You guys are awesome. If you haven't already, please, I ask you very nicely, please press the likes. Do share the show. It really does help. It's glad to have you guys here. I'll see you guys then all tomorrow night for another awesome show. Many blessings and